historical fiction and fantasy are two of your favourite genres and you haven't read The Children of Gods and Fighting Men by Shauna Lawless, then I highly recommend you add it to your list. This is book one of the Gale Song series, which is set in 10th century Ireland in the midst of the Viking Age, and it beautifully intertwines Irish mythology with the historical events and the setting of the time. The two main characters of this book, Gormla and Fola, are absolutely incredible, and their contrast and switching between the two each chapter meant it was such an engaging read from start to finish. I've read a bit of historical fantasy before, and I've sometimes found that the fantasy elements can be a little bit lacking, but that is not the case with The Children of Gods and Fighting Men. The two main characters both have fantastical elements, they're not quite mortal, they have their own powers, and I found the fantasy elements in this just so fresh. I've never read any Irish-inspired fantasy, and it was just so interesting to see. If you're like me and you've read a lot of historical fiction set in the Viking Age in England, I think you'll really enjoy how different this feels. The Irish at the time weren't great Christians, and the culture was still really rooted in their pagan beliefs, and the amalgamation of the Viking pagans and sort of the undertones of paganism in Irish culture, I mean, they kind of mould and merge a lot differently compared to England at the time, where it was very much an us and them. It was so interesting to read. Overall, this was a thoroughly enjoyable book one, and I am so locked in for the rest of this series.